Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Abid Shamlawi, the CEO of the Information Technology Association of Jordan, INTAJ, the creators of this gathering. On behalf of INTAJ and its partners, allow me to welcome you to the first Middle East and North Africa Region Information and Communications Technology Forum 2010. And thank you for joining us at this important regional event. Over the next 2 days, you will listen to and interact with no less than 70 global and regional speakers who are experts in their respective domains. Our panelists will discuss MENA region-specific topics that are important to our region, growth and prosperity. To begin our sessions, I'd like to call upon Scott Shuster, who has been leading events for INTAJ and our Ministry of ICT since 2002, when this forum was first started as the Jordan ICT Forum. Scott also leads conferences in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Cairo, and Istanbul, as well as events with His Majesty in the US. I'd like to mention that every conference session led by Scott is a good session. So please join me in welcoming Scott Shuster to our event.
Thank you, Abid Shamlawi, and a special thank you to begin to all the companies and individuals whose support have made possible this new forum for information and communications technology professionals in the MENA region. Top of the list, the conference global partner, the Ministry of Information and Communications Technology, the Jordan Enterprise Development Corporation, supported by the European Union, the USAID Jordan Economic Development Program, working to enhance the competitiveness of Jordan as a location for business process outsourcing through attracting foreign investment. Our platinum partner, the Jordan Development Zones Commission. We're sitting in the DCC's beautiful business park development zone right now. You'll have a chance to tour it later. Gold partners, Zain, Umnia, and Orange, all three of Jordan's hotly competitive wireless providers, are supporting this meeting, and we are grateful, grateful, and grateful to them. The giant and global EMC, Network Storage, Data Recovery, and Information Management, very active company in Jordan and a gold partner. The Qatar Science and Technology Park, Qatar's home for technology-based companies from around the world. The silver partners, Damamax, Jordan's leader in broadband telecommunications infrastructure, Damamax. The 570 people of Jordan's Optimiza, leading regional systems integrator with industry-specific business solutions and services, Optimiza. Huawei Technologies is here, the largest networking and telecommunications equipment supplier in China, #2 in the world. Very busy here in Jordan, helping to build the telecommunications infrastructure of this nation. The great Link Online, now 15 years old, providing online services and content in 15 countries of the Middle East and North Africa from their Cairo headquarters. You know them as Mazika.com, MSN Maghreb, Masraoui, Yalla Kora, Yalla Bina, Link Online. Please join me in thanking the silver, gold, platinum, and full partners. And 36 more firms and organizations have also signed in with various forms of support for this very first MENA ICT Forum. Please learn about them in your conference materials. And now, to begin, we welcome the individual who is running the world's largest web-based retail sales machine, Amazon.com, a company whose vast global success is changing the world of shopping. For example, the other day at home in New York, I noticed we were running low on canned salmon. We would run out in a week. I've got to go to Jordan. I'm busy preparing for this event. I don't have time to go to the supermarket. I happen to be ordering a travel book on Jordan. So I thought, I'll see if Amazon.com has canned salmon. The salmon arrived before the book. And this is the guy who makes that happen. For 7 years, Amazon.com Vice President and Chief Technology Officer Dr. Werner Vogels has been helping founder Jeff Bezos build and rebuild Amazon.com, taking the company in new directions every day. Dr. Vogels, very much a technologist himself, a research scientist before joining Amazon.com, and one of the world's leading thinkers on scalable distributed systems for enterprise computing. Let's meet Amazon.com's Dr. Werner Vogels, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Scott.
Go for it, Werner. You're welcome.
Honored. And let me first thank you all for inviting me out here. The reason actually, although Amazon is very well known for all of its e-commerce activities, what I really want to talk to you today is actually about Amazon is also a pioneer in cloud computing. And we have a number of sessions about that this afternoon. I want to talk to you a bit about Amazon's role in cloud computing and how cloud computing is going to be a very important driver, also for this region, also for the MENA region, to be able to compete globally and to be able to build a business much faster and with much lower capital infusion than that businesses you needed to have before. So let me start off. You probably all know ICTES.com, I hope. Yeah, I mean, the YouTube for the Arab region. And although I think this is a really great success story of a Jordan young business, but ICTES doesn't run its business out of local data centers. They were one of the first companies to move on to Amazon's cloud computing platform all the way back in 2006 already. It allows them to deal with massive traffic spikes and at the same time be extremely efficient. So many people still think that cloud computing is actually a book you buy on Amazon. Yeah? And although I was pretty annoyed that there was this book, Cloud Computing for Dummies, because I actually think that cloud computing should become so simple that it is like getting electricity out of your wall socket. Yeah, and nobody needs a book to get electricity for dummies or something like that. Yeah, what drove Amazon actually into this cloud computing arena, or actually to be the pioneer in cloud computing, was that our own engineers, we saw that our own engineers were becoming extremely inefficient. While Amazon prides itself on being a really innovative company, 70% of the time our engineers were actually spending time on doing infrastructure work. Things that actually didn't differentiate us from anybody else. And only 30% of the time we were building really new stuff, doing real good stuff for our customers. And if you really want to compete in this very fast-moving world of the internet, you need to flip these two things around at the minimum. Yeah? You need to spend 70% of your time on what differentiates you and only small amounts of time on things that are just the cost of doing business. Now, this related, and you can forget about this, this resulted in a whole series of services that everybody around the world uses this time. We call them the Amazon Web Services. But what's most important is that you need to remember as this is what's called infrastructure as a service. Meaning that where you used to buy hardware, you used to buy network equipment, you spend lots of time in negotiating contracts with network providers and things like that, that's all of the past. Yeah? You now go out and actually get this on demand with a pure pay-as-you-go model. Is this successful for Amazon? So this is the number of objects stored in one of our storage services called Amazon S3. There's now over 150 billion in them. And as you can see, more important is actually the trend. There's a clear exponential trend in uses of these cloud computing services. And in my eyes, we haven't even hit the knee of the hockey stick yet. All sorts of different usage patterns that we see. There's a few that are heating up really much at the moment. Used for disaster recovery, load testing, large-scale analysis, things like that. Next to the obvious cases such as web hosting and application hosting. I don't think you can ever talk about cloud computing without giving some sort of definition. But I'm using this definition to actually critique it. Yeah? This is a definition Gartner put out in 2008, which is, I actually think is really good. It's a style of computing where you have massively scalable IT-related capabilities that are delivered as a service across the internet to multiple customers. And that's actually really good. That really describes it well. But there's two things that are missing in this definition that make cloud computing. One of them is that these resources should be available in an on-demand fashion. You should be able to get access to them whenever you want to. And if you no longer need them, you should be able to release them. And with that comes a utility payment model. You should only pay for those resources that you've really consumed. And in the Amazon case, we're really proud of that you can always walk away. There's no long-term commitment, there's no lock-in of any sort. We keep ourselves on our toes by promising our customers that if we don't do our best job, you should be able to walk away. Yeah, so key benefits of cloud computing: lowering costs because you no longer need to make any capital investment. But also, because of this utility payment model, what you see is that your operational cost will go down because you only pay for those resources that you use. If you don't use them, you don't pay for them. Most customers come on board actually on the web services with an idea of lowering cost, but they'll always tell you that they actually stay because of the agility. Because suddenly they no longer need to be concerned about their infrastructure. They can build anything in any direction, having resources at their fingertips immediately. So faster time to market and unconstrained thinking about how your project should look like. And of course, you no longer need to think about negotiating bandwidth and multiple data centers and all these kind of things. That all comes for free with the whole package. And it's a good foundation for sort of the next century architectures. And this is not something that Amazon does by itself. We provide the framework for it, but we have many partners that allow you to pick any operating system, any database, any programming language that you can use on top of this platform. And not only that, it integrates with all of your standard enterprise business management processes and any of the standard, the businesses, the partners that you probably also have in terms of system integrators also use all of these services. And that results in actually hundreds of thousands of businesses at this moment using these services in about 190 countries around the world. And it's not only you think, yeah, that's all of those web-based stuff and things like that, but look at, for example, SAP internally using cloud services. Yeah? You see that the cloud services for just standard traditional enterprise IT is tremendous on the rise as well. And of course, it's not only this enterprise stuff. It's also, if you look at complete new businesses arriving. These are the casual gaming world, 75 million, 100 million users easily on Farmville and others. Run for the full 100% on Amazon Web Services. And these businesses couldn't exist without cloud computing. Yeah, and this is an important pattern. Also, you see that the number 2 or the number 3 in a particular enterprise market, like Lawson and like Sage, are actually able to compete on a global level suddenly, taking the number 1 and the number 2 in their particular areas, ERP and CRM, out to lunch, because they can move much faster if they move onto a platform like this. And it's not only these established enterprise companies that do this. We see incomplete new markets arriving. For example, this is a vertical, the telco vertical. There's nobody that buys a PBX anymore. Yeah, you pick free PBX or Asterisk and you run it in the cloud and you get your complete global PBX that you can use anywhere. And of course, here in the region as well, I mentioned ICTES earlier, but ICTES also, ICTES basically runs a local business or a regional business, but they also compete on a global level. Yeah, they recently launched a product called Zuvases, and that one is not targeted only at the regional market, but they can compete globally. And so cloud computing gives them the ability, it levels the playing field, such that they not only need to compete at a local market, but they can compete at a global level. Another company from the region is GDEV. They run a global outsourcing business. Yeah, so they have about 40 partner companies that they develop software for. Those companies have about 8,000 developers that GDEV manages for them. GDEV also has 400 contractors. But they are only a very small company in Dubai. They only have 5 employees. And what they do is they manage this global network of contractors and their partner companies, have them collaboratively develop enterprise software for these companies using cloud computing as their global collaboration platform. Again, because of this platform, GDEV is able to compete globally, where if they would have had to buy all the hardware, manage it themselves, first of all, they would have been a much larger company with much larger costs themselves, but they probably would not even have been able to be in business. So these services are available on a worldwide basis, and you can pick any place in the world to actually parts of the Amazon cloud to run your services in. And there may be different decision criteria as why or how you would want to run them in Europe versus Asia versus the US. It can be performance or security or cost efficiency reasons, which particular region of the cloud you pick. And so in retrospect, if you look at what cloud brings you, it is a worldwide reality at this moment. Often we still talk about cloud, but what I see from our customers who've been on our platform now for 4 years is that cloud is a reality for them. It enables a whole new range of businesses. And it allows existing businesses to become more efficient and more agile. In places where IT used to be a blocker, IT now becomes an enabler of innovation. Cloud also levels the playing field. It allows any company to compete because resources are no longer a constraint in actually being able to compete. And it also helps younger businesses or even established businesses from the region to be able to compete globally because suddenly you have access to capacity globally. That said, Amazon continues to innovate itself in this area continuously. And the one thing that I can promise you that if next year I would have to put up a slide of 2010, one slide won't be enough. One of the things that we've done, for example, in the past year, 6 times lower the price of these services. Because Amazon strongly believes that this is a high volume, low margin business. And anytime that our customers, you, help us get larger economies of scale, we'll turn around immediately and lower the pricing. So the only thing you need is actually this URL to go for. You can get started and you get your service in your own fingertips today. Thank you very much.
Right, Werner, thank you. Bravo. Have a seat over here. Werner, right here, right here. We're going to take one question from the audience for Werner Vogels. Let's see the microphone. I know we have 1 or 2 microphones to run around. Let's see a hand, and we'll take at least one question. Werner, thank you. Not only retailing, you're changing the whole business of enterprise management. Okay, we understand. Let me ask you something. How long before the provision of services in the cloud, such as Amazon is doing, how long before this is just a commodity and everybody's doing the same thing and you're competing only on price? I don't think we're there today, but this will happen eventually, won't it?
I'm not really sure whether price will be the only thing that we'll compete on. I think there's a number of things that are really important to customers. I mean, security, reliability, scale, and variety of services. Yeah? And how fast do we innovate over those dimensions? Is it a reality now? Yes. I think, for example, there was a young business incubator in the US that launched its summer program. Of the 35 companies that they invested in, 34 of them launched 100% in the cloud. So new businesses all launch in the cloud. Anyone that wants to compete globally will launch in the cloud.
Yeah, no, we understand. I'm just thinking, how long before the cloud becomes like hosting at the low level? They're all the same.
I think from what I look around the world is that we are there already.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it is just a matter of, other folks coming aboard, even here in Jordan. I mean, look at ICTES and other companies. For them to actually run their business, this is the most efficient way that they can actually run their business and that they can compete globally.
Yeah. Okay, let's go to the audience. Who has a question? There, go ahead.
Thank you for a great presentation. My name is Ray Milham from Dubai Silicon Oasis. Some companies are worried about moving their data to cloud computing because of security concerns. How would you address their concerns and fears?
So first of all, I think that it's a valid concern. Security is always a valid concern. Yeah? For Amazon, security has been our #1 priority forever. I mean, you cannot run a business on the web and not make security your #1 priority. I think security is something that every time when I sit down with a customer and actually really drill down into what do you really mean for your particular business case, about your particular data, we always find a solution that either at architectural level or at business process level is capable to use cloud for their particular services. Now, there may be some cases in which cloud is not applicable. Yeah, and there may be some very highly secure data that you would like to keep on your own premise forever. But you have to remember that Amazon, at our scale with so many customers, and our #1 priority is security innovation, are able to build security practices and invest in them that most other companies are not able to achieve. For example, we're doing a lot of effort, a lot new innovation in access control tools that I think are not commonplace in the enterprise yet. And yet at Amazon, at the cloud, you get these very fine grained levels of access control. With the federal government in the US are big customers of this platform. We have many customers that, for example, in the healthcare space, that need to get all sorts of certifications and that are able to achieve these certifications on this platform. So in general, I would say that security should be on the forefront of everybody's mind, but the cloud will help you actually achieve better security practices than what you can do in your own data centers.
Yes, good. Werner, thank you very much. Everybody's going to have the opportunity to ask more questions of Werner later in the program. He's going to stick around and be back on stage with us. You're going to be able to question everyone on this program, more than 70 speakers. This is a hallmark of our ICT events here in Jordan, so take notes. You'll need them for question times like this one, which will occur in every session. Right now, our second keynote speaker here on the first morning of the MENA ICT Forum, Mr. Stanislas de Bentzmann, co-founder and still co-chief executive of the great Devoteam, an entrepreneurial startup by Stanislas and his brother that has grown to nearly 5,000 employees in 23 countries across Western and Eastern Europe, Russia and North Africa, the Levant and Gulf. Revenue last year, almost $650 million. So great has been Devoteam's success in helping corporate and governmental clients make the most of information and communications technologies. Devoteam proves that if you want to grow, you go to where the population is young and ambitious, because that's where economic growth is assured. Let's meet Devoteam founder Stanislas de Bentzmann, ladies and gentlemen. There he is. Thank you, Stanislas. Go crazy. Are you going to go to the lectern? Yeah? Yeah, fine.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you very much in inviting me to speak. To introduce Devoteam in few words, we set up this company 15 years ago with my brother and I. With the idea that the telecom and the ICT will become a key subject for all large organizations in order to improve the efficiency and the productivity of this large organization. So we really push hard, first in France and then all around France, in Europe, Western Europe, then Middle East. We set up the Middle East company 6 years ago. And so far, I think we had a great experience here with very dynamic organization, customers, governments. We have worked with the Jordan government in 2004-2005 in a very early program. So I think that if I can compare, and Devoteam is in a good position to compare the Western world and the region, MENA, we can see how it's a huge opportunity for this region to catch up and to jump into this new age. In Devoteam, we think that this new age is coming from, of course, the connectivity, the connection of all these brains, and we do believe that cars are rebated for a much stronger development for all this emergent economy. We think that collaboration is now the new key subject for development. You know, the Western world took advantage of the right management of energy. All the development, the fantastic development we had in the last century in the Western world is coming from the right use of the electricity, the right use of telegram, the right use of technology, which were new 100 years ago. I think now we enter in a complete new period, and that is about collaboration. You can immediately have immediate access to all information, best practices. You can immediately get the best from the Harvard teachers, the best, almost the best from all the scientists around the world. And that is totally new. And we think that is going to accelerate in a very, very strong way, accelerate the efficiency and the productivity of all the economy which are able to catch this new trend. And I think in this region, where you have a lot of young people, where you have a very clear focus spending on ICT, I think that you have all the arguments to make this jump and to be a front runner in this new trend. Of course, a lot have to do. When you see that, for example, in this region, you have for 1,000 people around 150 computers, compared to Europe, where you have for the same for 1,000 people around 650 computers, and even 850 in the US. You can see that a lot have to be done, and you have to see that a lot have to do to convince companies to use all these new technologies. So that's the role of the local governments. And of course, we have, as Devoteam, we have to stimulate these trends, all this energy. We have to focus this energy in that direction. So thank you very much.
Stanislas, come join us here for a few questions. Stanislas de Bentzmann, thank you so much. And again, we'll be opening the floor to questions, both for Stanislas and for Werner. Just maybe one question for each again, because our time is short. Stanislas, this growth that you've had, the rapid growth, I mean, it's difficult to imagine you and your brother starting this company not that many years ago, and now it's this enormous thing, and your focus has been Eastern Europe, Russia, Middle East, North Africa, a lot of growth coming here. What can you share with us about the difference competing here compared to, say, France? What's different? Because you seem to have figured it out.
I think that, you know, in this region, we are, as French people, we are coming in a new world. You know, we are coming to a fantastic region because the energy. You know, it's really a fantastic, I think, experience for Western people to come to region like here, like MENA, because you feel all this energy who really want to build something new, something better. When Western world is a bit, I mean, we in the Western world are carrying liabilities, you know, a long story. And what is great and fantastic in this region, you feel that you can build so many things because everything is possible. Of course, I don't mean that everything is easy. Everything is you know, easy to achieve. Not at all. You have your own challenge. The region has its own challenge. But I think this kind of event, this kind of event can really stimulate the best practices. And I'm coming back to my really strong message of today. Collaboration is the key for the best future. And that's true for the whole world, of course. But here we are in even better position to jump, to be ahead of the rest of the world.
Mm-hmm. So when you say collaboration is the quintessential factor, what shape does that take? Are you saying that you're going to do more for the client, more turnkey, deeper involvement than you would have, for example, in North America or Western Europe? Is that normal?
What I mean is probably North America is really, for a long time, is really very good in this kind of subject. Europe is probably not at that level. What I mean is, for example, as an example, we just built in Devoteam a kind of internal Facebook to put our 5,000 engineers collaborating on each subject for one customer. Suddenly, you have 5,000 brains focusing on one subject for one customer. That is the productivity of this social network is fantastic, okay? So that's a fact. If I come to the region, I think that, again, yes, when you build new, it's always easier than when you have to build on the old building, legacy, you know, when you have to rebuild something, okay? Yeah. Everything is clean, the table is clean, so you can really jump on the best practice immediately.
Yeah, yeah. So you think it's tougher? Maybe it's really easier. Let's take a question. Who has the microphone? We should pre-position these microphones. When we're chatting with a speaker here, please raise your hands and seek out the microphone so we don't have this time lag. Does anybody have a question?
Maybe I can add
Yeah,
something.
please, go ahead, Werner.
Maybe I can add something about the issue of collaboration, or what will make the region different. I think, first of all, entrepreneurship in this region has a long history and is alive and well, and there's a strong entrepreneurial culture. But it's also the case, I think, that there is a shift in business model happening globally, where there's a move to smaller businesses being able to collaborate together to deliver bigger products. If we look at, so there's, for example, a small company called Leonphone that fronts 5,000 smaller shops, smaller businesses. They will take in the work and they will distribute it over those smaller units of work. Each of those smaller shops have unique skills. And there's a global aggregator that basically distributes the work over them. It means that even as a small company these days, you can compete at a global level. You no longer need to be a multi-billion-dollar company to make a name for yourself worldwide to demonstrate that you have unique skills and unique products to deliver. Yeah, that's much so easier.
Yeah. Good, go ahead. It's on, go ahead.
Can you hear me? Yeah. My question for Vernon, Isa Batarsa from Princess Sumaya University for Technology, mentioning the skill set for cloud computing. Are you having challenges finding graduates from education institutions, universities who have enough skills to provide the servers for cloud computing?
Will there be a change in terms of skills?
Actually, are you having difficulty finding the skills you need in this region?
First of all, I think we need to agree on whether there is a change in skills. Yeah, and I think actually what you'll see is that a number of lower-level technician kind of activities are pushed to a higher level. Yeah, where people that used to be technicians running around with cables and things like that are now more concerned of actually operating services. I find that I've not found with any of our customers that these services are so complex to use that they need new skill sets. No, I've not found any of that.
Okay, one last question. Go ahead.
Mohammed Saleh from Microsoft. So I have questions because I'm Egyptian, so I'm from the region here. So the question for both the international company here, building business on our area for MEA and MENA, especially in MENA. So how the international company build the local capacity from the resources, from the technology, from the existing and building a resource here in the region, instead of depending totally on getting the expert and skills outside from the region.
Yeah,
so what is
question,
the goal and what is the plan for that?
Yeah, Stanislas, you're working all around the region, so how much local employment is there and how many people are you just bringing in from France?
We have kind of 80-20, okay? 80 local and 20% coming from the rest of the group on each project. I think that you're totally right. From the beginning, we are really focusing on attracting talents, local talents, because we need that for question of flexibility, etc. But we are, again, thanks to a strong e-learning system, we spread the know-how of the group. And of course, it's not only here, it's everywhere in the group. We are very careful to increase the increased know-how for our employees. So definitely, it's always difficult to find not only graduates, but also experienced people. And it's even more difficult in this region because the lack of engineers graduate. So I think it's a challenge, but Devoteam, we are very careful to attract local people from the whole region and to train them like the rest, thanks to our e-learning platform and from knowledge of the group.
Right, so you really want to, it's just a question of availability, but already you're at 80%, 20%, so that's pretty good. Good, Stanislas, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to ask you to keep your seats because we're going to move directly into our next session with no pause here at all. But right now, please join me in thanking Stanislas de Bentzmann and Werner Vogels for opening our program. Thank you. Thank you very much. Stanislas, thank you.